Nobody's being real with you about the real reason All-Star Weekend sucks. And I am going to give you that much needed context as somebody who just got back from my third All-Star Weekend on the ground, working it, covering it, being there. This year, I was so gratefully a guest of the NBA. And it was my job to teach you about this new format that I thought actually was really exciting, and maybe some things would change. And I think the way that it was carried out, it wasn't what the people wanted. It wasn't what we asked for. And I don't think that that's the league's fault. I think that the league is just grasping at straws, trying to get something to happen with All-Star Weekend. That is not going to happen. And I'm here to tell you why. Hi, Hotties. Welcome back to Hoops for Hotties, the one and only sports podcast for the girls, the gays, the days, and the straight men who don't admit they don't know anything about sports. And you guys, it's time to get real about All-Star Weekend. So the number one thing that I feel like fans need to understand is that All-Star Weekend for the players is not this competitive. They're not going off to a basketball tournament where they're going to bed early and waking up early for shoot around and dreaming about going at their competitor. It's spring break. And the best example I could use is All-Star Weekend is literally just spring break for school. You've been in school all year. They have a long season. They finally get a break. But all of the kids who made honor roll have to stay in school through spring break. And everybody else gets to go to their beach vacations and have a great time. That's what All-Star Weekend is to these players. It's work. Now, it is very exciting to them. One thing I've learned, it's still very much exciting for the players to be selected as an all-star. I think that they take pride in that. They take that very seriously. And as you can see, when they're not selected as an all-star or they feel like they're snubbed, they're really offended by it because it means a lot to them to be an all-star. However, the game itself and the events of All-Star Weekend mean absolutely nothing to them. Jack shit. And the reason why is because they're working on their off day. They don't care. And on top of that, the NBA is a big community, a brotherhood. These are guys that have been in the same position since they were in high school. And All-Star Weekend is one of the only times that they are all in the same city at the same time when they don't have work or a game the next day. Every really good player from every really good franchise or team is all in the same city at the same time, which to a fan is like, yes, I get to see my favorite players play. And to the players, hell, let's turn up, let's celebrate all that we've accomplished. We're all stars. It's amazing. So while it might mean a lot to them to be selected onto the team, they're going to celebrate that shit when they get there. And the only reason I feel comfortable saying that on wax is because you see it on social media. So I don't understand why I'm the only one putting two and two together. If you're seeing stories of, I remember last year, a super viral video of Tyrese Halliburton dancing in the club or whatever. If you're seeing that the night before the All-Star game or the night before the skills challenge and the three-point contest, what do you think Tyrese Halliburton is showing up? Oh, let's lock in, guys. Sorry, Tyrese, for using you as an example, but that was the video that came to my mind. No, when you're on spring break and you're partying with your friends, do you wake up the next day and you're like, let's go to the gym? Yeah, let's go crazy. You know, and that's not to say that they shouldn't be allowed to do that because we all have free will. They can do what they want. And to be honest, if you've been to college, you know that these athletes can be in the club and then the next day go win a national championship. They're fine. They bounce back. They're athletes. But the thing is that fans are missing is All-Star Weekend for the players that are actually all-stars is not about the games or the events. It's about just hanging out and celebrating. And a huge part of All-Star Weekend that takes over is whatever player All-Star Weekend is occurring in their city, it's kind of about them. Most of the brands are doing activations and stuff around them. And on top of that, in the player's defense, outside of just partying, because not everybody's a partier and is like, ow, or whatever, they still have to do so much more work surrounding the All-Star Weekend events besides just All-Star. The players have more to do than just playing in and or participating in the events. There are a million brand activations going on. Nike's having events. Adidas is having events. Jordan is having events. The players are doing interviews and media. They're showing up to charity events and meeting children in the city where the game's being played. They're shaking hands. They're kissing babies. They're doing way more surrounding All-Star Weekend than just the events. So could you imagine, this is supposed to be my off week from work. Not only do I have to play still, which is a blessing, I'm an all-star, but I'm also having to shake hands because babies do the whole thing. You could imagine that they're a little jaded when it comes to time to actually playing the game. Now, my personal review of the weekend is I had a great time. You see what I'm saying? Because all of that other stuff that goes on. This is part of the reason why the players probably don't care, is because outside of just the fact that they have a lot to do, the weekend itself is fun as hell. It's so much fun. It feels like a big celebration of loving basketball, and everybody is united and all in one place. It's so much fun. I had a time, and I'm so grateful to the NBA for inviting me. And here's the thing. Let's start with Friday night. So the Celebrity All-Star Game, I'm going to be real with y'all. If Drewski and Kai Cenat are the big names on the poster, you know how the Coachella poster has the headliners and the biggest names, and then as the people get less famous, the names get smaller? And again, this is no tea, no shade to the people who were in attendance, because I did red carpet interviews and there were plenty of incredible people and celebrities that were there. 2 Chainz, Shabuzi. It was a really fun event. But also, Drewski and Kai Cenat spent the whole time just looking for a viral moment, as they should. That's literally their job, and they're hilarious. They can't be the biggest celebrities in the Celebrity All-Star Game. That can't be the case. That's not going to sell tickets. And if you're offended by that, let me just also add that I was at the game, and that game was not sold out. It was even very much sparse. And just because you got to have at least 2 headliners with huge fan bases that are going to pack that arena. I remember when I was younger and Justin Bieber played in the Celebrity All-Star Game, and I wanted to go so goddamn bad. I would have sold my left arm. I did not get that opportunity, but that's neither here nor there. Somebody like that, Drewski and Kai Cenat, aren't going to do it. And on top of that, they also have a Creator Cup during All-Star Weekend. I would completely understand Drewski and Kai Cenat headlining that, but the Celebrity All-Star Game, please, let's be serious. But shout out to Rome Flynn. He can actually hoop. That man can actually play basketball. NBA, I don't care what you got to do. If you got to pay people to participate in the Celebrity All-Star Game, pay them people. Team Kendrick Lamar versus Team Drake, or something like that. Walk with me, NBA. You pay Drake a shit ton of money to participate in the Celebrity All-Star Game. He wants to be a basketball player so bad. He's making hoop mixtapes every chance he gets. Get Drake to participate. Let him invite his whole OVO crew, promote his OVO artists that he has in the basement, only get to come out when they collaborate with him. Have him create a team, Party Next Door, everybody. Young Thug, maybe you could have let Drake and Young Thug do one of Young Thug's required anti-drug concerts at halftime of the Celebrity All-Star Game, you feel me? Versus Team Kendrick Lamar with Metro Boomin, Future, The Weeknd. Would it have cost millions and millions of dollars? Hell yeah. But you're going to lose money anyways, because them seats were giving empty. It was giving sparse in there. I was at the game, y'all. And the crowd goes mild. There was virtually no energy. That's what I think needs to happen. Moving on to Saturday, Mac McClung. I know he has pretty much said that he's never doing the dunk contest again, as he should. That was the first thing I said when his dunk contest was complete. If I were him, he's won it 3 times in a row now. I would never do it again. You've milked me enough. I have nothing else left to give. Y'all pull that man out of the G League to put him in the dunk contest and then throw him right back in there. No. And of course, he's dunking over cars and doing all of this incredible stuff. He doesn't really have a solid NBA career right now. The dunk contest is literally his claim to fame. I'm sure he's getting plenty of endorsement deals and whatnot surrounding the dunk contest. If I were him, I would put my life into the dunk contest every single year. But that's his job. And he uses a lot of these props and these intricate dunks to make it very interesting, which I love. But back in the day when I was a little girl and I thought that Dwight Howard was literally Superman because of his dunk. And it's not like the most, obviously there was the dunking over the car stuff of the past, but it's not like there were the most props and crazy stuff going on. It was just cool dunks, insane displays of athleticism. However, no shade to Mac McClung. I definitely think he carried. It's just that these don't feel like NBA dunks, NBA players dunking against each other. It doesn't feel that competitive. And quite frankly, people don't know who these guys are. We know Mac McClung now because he's made a name for himself in the dunk contest, but come on. The other guy couldn't even get a dunk off. I was getting embarrassed and quite frankly sad. I'm literally just a girl and I'm starting to feel bad for this guy because he can't make a dunk in the All-Star game and then the judges give him a pity 50. It was just immediately no. And what pissed me off beyond belief about NBA All-Star Saturday night is I paid $18 for a commemorative Steph Curry popcorn bucket this weekend, y'all. I love Steph Curry. That is my favorite basketball player. And the thing I was looking forward to the most about All-Star Weekend was it being a weekend all about Steph Curry and his greatness. When I showed up to that 3-point contest and that man was in street clothes, I was about to throw hands. I was so mad. I understand that the situation that I heard was that Sabrina Ionescu dropped out of doing the Steph versus Sabrina shootout, which, as she should, I would never do that shit again. Besides the point. And so Steph just didn't participate. You're on the bench in street clothes, the greatest shooter of all time during the 3-point contest in your city. And the person that Golden State had to root for was Buddy Hield. No disrespect to Buddy Hield at all. Steph Curry should have been in that damn 3-point contest. Are you joking? That didn't make out. Y'all trying to sell tickets to the 3-point contest in the Bay, and Steph Curry's not playing. That 3-point contest should have been Steph Curry versus Klay Thompson. You know what? They should have just brought back all of the guys. I should just write All-Star Weekend next year. They should just have brought back all of the past Warriors players that were their shooters. Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson. You know what? They should have invited Draymond's ass to participate in the 3-point contest since he has so much to say all weekend. Negative Nancy all weekend long. But I think it would have been really cool if it were a Bay 3-point contest. You feel me? That would have ate. Luka should have been in the 3-point contest. I feel like my ideal 3-point contest of this year would have been Luka Doncic, Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. Jalen Brunson was a good addition. I don't know, y'all, but Steph Curry not being in the 3-point contest blew me. That shit blew me. Everybody knows the dunk contest sucks. And another thing that pisses me off, Ja Morant, Giannis, everybody, quit pretending y'all are going to do it. Either put your money where your mouth is. I might do the dunk contest next year. I might do it next year. I think I might do it. You're okay, then do it. If you were going to do it what stopped you from doing it this year? I might do it, shit. You must have lost your mind. You must have bumped your head. I don't believe you. Until I see them do it, I don't. But part of the problem is Jaylen Brown did it last year and got bullied to hell by the fans. So no shit, they don't want to do it because y'all are mean as fuck and ruin everything that we get that's good. Now moving on to Sunday. Now I was mentally prepared for Sunday to be bad, quite frankly, because like I told y'all, this is my third rodeo and I was excited about the new format to see how it goes. Maybe they would be more competitive, whatever. First of all, everybody was bullying the Rising Stars saying that they didn't deserve to be there, which I found ridiculous because that's not their fault. They threw the Rising Stars in there to give y'all some motivation to damn try. And then LeBron James, you gonna back out of All-Star Weekend. You gonna back out of the All-Star game at the last minute. That shit had me so tight. He knew he wasn't playing in that game before he woke up on All-Star Weekend on Saturday or whatever the heck, on Sunday. He knew before he woke up on Sunday that he wasn't participating in the All-Star game and hoarded that spot from somebody else to keep his streak going. I'm not gonna lie, as a LeBron fan, that really disappointed me. Either lace up and play for 2 seconds and then just sit on the bench. I have a little soreness, but I wanted to be here and participate. You took a spot from somebody else and you needed a 27th All-Star. Please, bye. And then Kevin Durant's like, well, it's easier to complain about the All-Star game than it is to cry me a river, all of you. I'm done feeling bad for these players. Cry me a fucking river. These people pay tickets to come and watch y'all play, and you deliberately don't try. Boo-hoo. And it's so easy to complain. Actually, Kevin, and you know what? I'm a little mad about this, so I'm going to keep it $1.50. You guys, if you don't care so much about the All-Star game, and if you want to complain, then just get rid of the whole thing. No, Kevin. If you don't care about the All-Star game and you don't want to play and you don't want to try, stop wasting the money of the people who spent their hard-earned cash to buy tickets to see y'all dilly-dally around the court every single year, which was much less people than last year, I might add, because looking around at the game, that shit was not sold out. It was giving sparse. I digress. If you care so little about the All-Star game, this isn't just to Kevin Durant, this goes for all of you. Don't be an All-Star. Decline your opportunity to be an All-Star. Say, I don't want to go. I don't care to be an All-Star. Give your spot up to somebody else. Oh, no, we can't do that. It's the rules. Say you have hamstring tightness. That's what y'all do every time you don't want to play in anything else. Oh, but aren't there contract incentives and bonuses? Isn't it possible for some players to get more money if they're an All-Star? Oh, and isn't it a Hall of Fame resume builder to be an All-Star? Oh, isn't it bragging rights to say you're an All-Star? Oh, So you won't turn in your opportunity to be an all-star and to make a little more cash or to get into the Hall of Fame or whatever the case may be. But when you get there, you don't want to try. So you're comfortable wasting all of the people who came out's time and money. That doesn't sit right with me. I don't think the NBA needs to do away with All-Star Weekend. I love All-Star Weekend. I think we need to just peel it back to its purest form, its original form. I think we need to quit with all the gimmicks and the gadgets and the extraness and the new format this and the new that. And we just need to go back to how it used to be. East versus West, normal teams, one normal basketball game, no more tournaments. Goddamn, Adam, no more tournaments. I'm off it. I'm off the tournaments, Adam. Go back to how it used to be and just see. Maybe work our way up from there. Maybe sprinkle some things in. Maybe have the halftime show was great. I loved the halftime show. I will give them that. The halftime show was awesome. It was to the city that it was being performed in. The performers brought energy. The halftime show was great. Mr. Beast having Damian Lillard shoot against a random from the crowd for $100,000 while the $100,000 sat on the court. What was Dame supposed to do? Now, from my perspective, Damian Lillard had to make 3 shots. The kid had to make 1. Dame makes his first 2 shots. What's he supposed to do? Beat the kid? Because right after Dame made his first 2 shots, Mr. Beast, who by the way gives me heebie-fucking-jeebies. I'm sorry, heebie-jeebies. Mr. Beast gonna ask the kid, what do you want the money for? And the kid's like, for college and to really help out my family. What the fuck is Damian Lillard supposed to do? Crush this kid's dreams? You have this random ass kid shooting against a professional basketball player who makes logo shots in actual intense game scenarios. And you expect me to believe that that kid beat him in a shooting contest? Hell no. And if anything, that is diminishing to the NBA product. Y'all should have just had Damian Lillard and Steph Curry shoot against each other for the $100,000 on behalf of a kid or a cause. Now you got Damian Lillard looking like he can't beat some random kid from the crowd. And then I'm all for giving the TNT crew their flowers. I really am. But that couldn't have waited till the very end or until a real NBA game or until a better time. And did it have to be so long? I feel like every time the NBA wants to fix All-Star Weekend, quote unquote, they add something to All-Star Weekend. I think it's time to start taking things away. But the best parts of the entire weekend were the halftime show and Mac McClung. I think LeBron James is definitely to blame for the fact that All-Star Weekend is booty cheeks and dust now. I've listened to entirely too many former basketball players and legends talking about the game say, from their perspective, the All-Star game effort shifted because of leadership, because the leaders in place, their favorite hoopers, don't give a shit about the All-Star game. And back in the day, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, all of those guys cared about the All-Star game. LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, I love Steph, but I got to throw him in there too because you're not participating in the 3-point contest in your city. Nothing anyone could do would stop me from winning that 3-point contest in front of my home crowd in my arena in my city. Nothing. LeBron, this is your 22nd billionth All-Star, bro. You've been in the All-Star game since the Civil War, bro. Just put on your freaking uniform and play one possession and then say your ankle hurts or something. You showed up in street clothes? Just wasting space? Hell no. And then Kevin Durant want to blame us for complaining about it. These players done lost their damn minds. And I just remember back in the day, Beyonce and Jay-Z used to pull up to All-Star Weekend. It was lit. All the celebrities were there. People loved it. And now it's like getting embarrassing. And it's no fault of the league or anybody but the players and the leaders in place. And until they want it to be better, it will not be better. So we'll see. And I think that they are also hurting the longevity in the future of the NBA because as somebody who teaches the girls and the gays and people who don't typically watch basketball about basketball, All-Star Weekend is usually an opportunity where we can get people who usually don't care about basketball to watch. And they've ruined that. Because if that's your first impression of the NBA, you're like, they're soft as hell. This is stupid. Why would I watch this? And I thought that All-Star Weekend was supposed to promote the game, get people to watch. But at the end of the day, I had a good time. You feel me? I had a good time. I didn't have to listen to the coverage. I was just there. I was talking to the other creators that were invited. I was having a great time. I was eating out of my Steph Curry popcorn bucket. I was happy. I enjoyed myself. I'm going to be there next year, and I love it. I'm going to keep being a fan of the game and trying to promote the game. But as somebody who loves the game, I can't stand by and watch this any longer. That's all for this rant today, folks. I love you. I mean it. And that was Hoops for Hotties. Goodbye.